Hello and welcome to Totally Insane Guinness World Records. We've trawled planet Earth for the very best Guinness World Records on TV, so prepare to witness the human race in all its glory. Coming up, extremely convincing indoor grass, a novel way of getting the shopping home, and this guy celebrates purchasing a new yoga mat. In each generation, there are a handful of pioneering human beings who question the norms of society and fight against conventionally held wisdom to advance the species. It was Copernicus who first theorized that the Earth revolves around the sun. It was Darwin who put forward the revolutionary theory of evolution. And it was Patrick Doach from Germany, seen here in trousers clearly borrowed from Simon Cowell, who looked at a children's paddling pool and said, "Why do we necessarily have to fill it with water instead of chocolate confectionery?" Many said it was impossible, but today he's proving them wrong as he's about to dive into just such a paddling pool to try and break the record for the highest jump into what we know as chocolate-covered marshmallows. Now, Patrick is an enthusiastic amateur, but of course, many divers hurl themselves into sweets as part of their training. Tom Daley, for example, leaps into lemon bonbons almost weekly in order to hone his technique. He's ready to dive.
Go!
Ooh, I do hope that cracking noise was the sweets and not any of Patrick's bones. Ah, hang on, there he is. And a team of specially trained helpers wipe cream off his face using tissues. What a job. He may look like he's been splattered on by an enormous bird, but he's happy because after deducting the height of sweets in the pool, he's made a total leap of 7.04 metres, and that is a new world record. Someone get him a wet wipe. Most celebrities insist on arriving at television studios in a luxury limousine laden with champagne, but not these guys. They've requested a forklift truck with a couple of sparklers attached to it, and who are we to argue? These guys are excellent at waving and showing off their guns, but today they're here to display another of their talents. Yes, these three chaps will be attempting the fastest 20-metre run carrying 300 kilograms on their shoulders. To put that into context, that would be like carrying 300 1-kilogram bags of sugar. I'm here to help. So what is the current record?
11.4 seconds.
11.4 seconds it is, and Tommy Lotter is up first. I wish him a large amount of luck. He's looking extremely healthy. Are we 100% sure Tommy wasn't hypnotised to impersonate a chicken before this record started? We are? Fine, just checking. This does not look easy, and unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough. The record has slipped through his fingers, and it looks like a disc is about to slip in his back. There are two more challengers, though, so we'll see them later on.
Da Silva!
Now, is it just me, or are mobile phone accessories starting to get a little bit out of hand? This man is presumably on the phone to his agent asking why he's wound up wearing a hat full of eggs on telly. His name is Gregory De Silva, and he's hoping to secure the new world record for the most eggs carried on a single hat. It's a fashionable and yet practical design. We've all been there, haven't we? Walking down the street in desperate need of several hundred eggs, but unable to transport them in a no-nonsense way. Finally, a solution. Gregory may be keeping all the eggs to himself, but it turns out when it comes to his otherworldly possessions, he's pretty generous.
My home is your home. Your home is my home. Your wife is my wife.
No.
Oh dear, this has all gone a little bit Jeremy Kyle. But with 642 eggs, it's a new world record. Whoever said don't put all of your eggs in one basket clearly hadn't thought about the possibility of converting that basket into a hat. I don't see what could possibly go wrong. Oh yeah, apart from that, we probably should have put these slippery when wet floor signs up. Despite the fall, Gregory still gets a medal, whilst I try to resist the urge to describe that as a cracking record attempt. I can't do it! What a cracking attempt! We are back to running whilst carrying weights again now. This man is lifting 300 kilos on his shoulders. To put that into context, that's like carrying 300 1-kilogram bags of rice. We've all been there when there's a special offer on Basmati, haven't we? Anyway, Jarno has made short work of that course, so it's time for our final competitor, Irvin, to have a go. He is racing down that course like a man determined to get his overdue library books returned before closing, thus avoiding both a financial penalty and the social stigma of being one of those people. But whose time was the fastest?
The record currently stands at 11.4 seconds, and Tommy took 23.97 seconds. So unfortunately, world record.
It's bad luck for Tommy. The record's not his, and he'll have to put that t-shirt in the wash. Jarno's time is up next.
Okay. You took 8.86 seconds. It's already a new Guinness.
Jarno has done it. A new record. What a joyous day. Incredible. This is one of those amazing moments in life that no one can take away from you, Jarno. Well done. After all that training, finally, a Guinness World Record.
Erwin took 8.15. It's a new Guinness World Record.
Right. Forget what I just said. So with 8.15 seconds, Irvin has taken the record, and thankfully, Jarno doesn't seem to mind too much. That must be quite a weight off Irvin's shoulders. Again. Enjoy that medal, Irvin. You deserve it. Next up, a few handy tips on how to get around when one of your tyres has got a puncture. This is Shane Badman.
I've been riding nearly 17 years. BMX freestyle is my passion.
So it may be all about one wheel, but today Shane is going for 2 records.
Well, this one doesn't look super easy, Chris.
It takes a lot of talent, this one. It's actually 2 records in one. There's distance and duration. What's important to me is when the start line is crossed, the feet are off the pedals and the back wheel is in the air. After that, the feet cannot touch the pedals or the ground for the entire event.
And Shane's been focusing his mind.
I'm just thinking about the weather, thinking about the...
On the weather. Each to their own. Right, on with the record. Shane is getting up to speed. And off he goes. He's gone for the classic military helmet, but has put in slightly less effort with the rest of his costume. I do hope he blew his nose before he set off. Oh dear. It's a good effort, but it's not good enough. He's lost more momentum than Cheryl Cole post-X Factor. But Shane will be back later to give it another go. This dog might look cute, but don't be fooled. He's a highly trained world record-breaking machine, and by the looks of it, a better goalkeeper than Robert Green. Today, however, Chucky the dog is going to attempt to break the record for the most catches of a flying disc in 3 minutes. The audience are waiting with bated indifference to see if this pooch can smash the record for the most frisbee catches in a minute. Right then, let's do this.
Via.
The dog has a 100% success oh dear, maybe not. Keep your head up and try again. Time for another throw. And that is much better. I actually spoke to Chucky before the show and asked him to reveal some of the secrets behind his talents. He said, woof, 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 a woof, 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 woof. A fascinating insight, I'm sure you'll agree, to the inner workings of one of our greatest athletes, although I didn't expect him to be quite so crass. Now, in case you were wondering, I have checked, and apparently it's not real grass in the studio there. I know, I was as amazed as you. So far, this is a very good run for Chucky. Oh, he's just missed that one, and sadly the time is now up. If there's one thing I need to see more of right now, it's a dog catching a frisbee. So thank heavens for this replay.
2 minuti, 11 prese, tutte valide, è un nuovo Guinness World Record.
Now, I'm not a linguist, but I think he just said it's 11 catches and a new world record, which means yet another replay. Proof that you can't have too much of a good thing. Well done, Chucky. Back to Shane on his BMX for his second attempt. Now remember, he's got to travel for as long as he possibly can, as far as he possibly can, doing a wheelie. If he slips now, it's bad news for the record attempt and even worse news for any future attempts at fathering a child. It's a lovely view from the rear, nice field and some trees there. And the concentration on his face is very, very intense. He's over the line, but he's still going. This man is going to leave the record books in tatters, not to mention his front tyre. It's a great effort, and if there was anyone actually there, I'd suggest he take a bow. All right, he's done it anyway.
As you know, you beat the distance record, which stood at 154.5 metres. It now stands at 188.3 metres.
Yes!
Congratulations.
Massive record.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
But the even better news, you know there was a second record you were going for, which is a time record. Stood at 42.68 seconds. You just stayed on your front wheel for 47.5 seconds.
Double record. One in each hand, mate.
Thank you very much.
Proud owner of 2 Guinness World Records.
I'm absolutely blown away. This is better than a dream come true, to be honest. I've done a lot of great things and I've been really happy with on my bike, but you know what? I'll never forget this. This is amazing.
And Shane, we will never forget your eyebrows. They should give him a record for those. Coming up, we reveal the government's new design for speed bumps. The Incredible Hulk loses his powers. And why you should never leave your webcam switched on. Welcome back. Now, just who exactly is this attractive man in soft focus?
My name is Tom Owen. I'm from the United States, and I'm 59 years old.
You barely look a day over 58 and a half. So why all the tyres?
I have 12 children, 10 adopted and 2 natural, but they're all mine.
Oh, his hearing must be going, why all the tyres, Tom? The tyres!
30 years ago, I started a specialty to raise money for my children's home.
Ah, yes, and that specialty involves tyres. Tom is here today to be run over by as many vehicles as possible. But don't worry, I'm sure it's not as dangerous as it sounds.
Oh, the last time my ramps collapsed, with the last truck weighed 15,000 kilometers, and the ramps collapsed. And so it just, a truck that heavy just rolled over my whole body and down my left leg.
Or maybe it is. But if there's one thing we know about people who attempt world records, it's that they don't give up. And it also seems they love exposing a bit too much thigh. So tonight, Tom is giving it another go. Each truck will weigh between 3,000 and 4,000 kilograms, and he needs 9 to run over him for a new world record in as much time as he wants. It's such a big record that it requires 2 officials, and to help you tell them apart, one of them has grown a memorable beard. Understandably, Tom is using this opportunity to audition for Heat magazine's Torso of the Week, and you can see why. Something tells me Tom might be ready. So, here we go with truck number 1.
That's right, come on. That's right, come on.
Yes, you are watching a half-naked man go to truck. And it looks like a problem-free start, but there's plenty more trucks lined up, including an attractive yellow one. So we'll be back to see how Tom gets on in just a bit. Next, a head-to-head record. And don't you just hate it when you turn up to an event wearing the same outfit as somebody else? It's very embarrassing. These guys are going to attempt to rip off as many t-shirts as they can in 1 minute. It sounds simple enough to me, so let's get the rules.
Chris, can we have the rules, please?
Okay, so this is the record for the most t-shirts torn in 1 minute. You've got 1 minute time. Every t-shirt has to be ripped completely through from top to bottom. And to break the current record, you need to do more than 14.
But what does ripping a t-shirt look like? I think we need a demonstration. That's good, but slower. Nailed it.
So guys, are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Audience, are you ready?
Okay, so for the record, Team Do Ik Go!
Now, there are many pluses and minuses to wearing lots of t-shirts. On the positive side, both these guys have incredibly low heating bills. But on the negative side, that number of layers makes a spontaneous night of wild passion a somewhat laboured affair. These men may look pleasant and trustworthy, but if you run a football team with quite a low budget, then beware. They will try and pinch the whole squad's outfits.
4, 3, 2, 1, stop!
Time's up. It's been a sterling effort, and after a performance like that, their names will go down in history for everyone to remember.
As you can see here, he ripped 22. That is already a new Guinness World Record. Then he ripped 23, so he's the new Guinness World Record holder.
Well done, him. Take that shirt off and slip into something more comfortable. Or a medal. We're back with Tom now, and he continues to be run over by a series of heavy vehicles. It's good to have a hobby, I suppose. Interestingly, these vehicles are all being driven by people who hold minor grudges against Tom. His next-door neighbour is at the wheel of this one, and he's using this experience to express his mild annoyance that Tom borrowed and then immediately broke his hedge trimmer. Tom is not only a brave man, but a pioneer of new technologies. He's actually had a camera installed in his belly button, an extremely painful and invasive procedure. So let's look at some of the shots from it. Well worth it. Okay, here comes Tom's synchronised swimming partner in the yellow car, and he's annoyed that he's had to pay Tom's entrance fee for the last 3 weeks because Tom keeps forgetting his wallet. It's 6 down, but there's more to come, so let's leave him to it. Next up, the recession has had a big effect upon the prices of air travel. So the presenters of the Chinese Guinness World Record show have come up with an ingenious solution. Stash your guests in a box to save on airfares. And there he is. They'll be doing that on This Morning in no time, you mark my words. This is Li Hang-chai, a magician hoping to break the record for the most teleportation illusions performed in 1 minute. 6 is the target if he wants to make it into the record books, and as it happens, he does. Everything is set in the studio, and the crowd are looking pleased with their complimentary highlighter pens. So, let's do this. 6 illusions in 1 minute, please. A quick wiggle of the sheet, and she's teleported. A quick wiggle of the sheet, and he's teleported. A quick wiggle of the sheet, and she's Okay, you started to get the idea of this. He certainly is extremely quick. Having this skill in real life would undoubtedly be extremely handy if you found yourself trapped in a variety of Perspex boxes. Right, he is undeniably very securely chained in there. He is not going anywhere. Oh, look at that, he has. He is quite the Houdini. Just 1 more illusion to go now. And that noise means that my dinner's ready.
Which one is your favorite?
This
yes.
one.
Yes, me too.
Yes. I like this one.
How does this work?
Yes.
Well, I'm guessing she uses a very intense treatment of hair dye. Oh, you mean the trick?
It was 5. This were 6 illusions, and for the 6 illusions, it took you 48 seconds within the minute. It's a new Guinness World Record.
Another record broken. Nice one, Lee. Now, could you do me a favour and teleport me anywhere in the world where I can see a man being repeatedly run over? God, he is good, isn't he? So while I've been marvelling at that lot, poor old Tom is still being run over by a load of trucks. Here's number 7. Oh, absolutely textbook. Tom is making this look like a walk in the park. A walk in the park that's briefly interrupted by a load of massive trucks running over you in the name of entertainment, of course. If anyone has seen the rest of this lady's necklace, by the way, then do let us know, and we'll pass any leads on. Now, what you might not realise is that Tom is also a trained mechanic, so for a small fee, he can offer the owners of the cars a quick inspection whilst he's under there. Let's take a look at this one. Good inspection, and needs a new exhaust. So, after being run over by 9 trucks, it looks like Tom has had enough. Up he gets to a hero's reception, and a new world record for the most vehicles to run over a person. Despite the ordeal, he's looking good, in a he could explode at any point kind of way. But there is barely a scratch on him. All right, love, you can look, but don't touch. Oh, it's empty.
Nuovo Guinness World Record.
The record is his. Good work, Tom. I bet he's feeling a bit tired after all of that. Huh? Tired? The tyres. He's been run over by tyres. See yourself. Up next is a man who could get himself on grand designs by making a 5-storey detached eco-friendly bachelor pad out of nothing more than a few decks of cards.
My name is Brian Berg, and I hold the Guinness World Record for the world's tallest house of cards and the Guinness World Record for the world's largest house of cards, all freestanding. My grandfather was a bit of a card player, and he I would always build a small house of cards between card games. So that took my interest and I got a bit obsessed. And when I was clear back in grade school, I completely nerded out and captured my first Guinness World Record at that time, and that was 1992.
Interesting. By the way, how is that new hair conditioner working out for you, Brian?
It's a bit drier here than I anticipated. It does cause my cards to warp a surprising amount, and it really, really makes my life very difficult.
Maybe try a 2-in-1 shampoo.
All of my work is based on kind of my repertoire, which is like a series of components that I know how to make. And so every time I build something or I get asked to build something, I have to kind of go through in my head and think what units that I prefer to make, what I use to make something that looks like this or that.
And some of Brian's projects actually take months to complete.
That I hope that people will look at what I do and think, oh, I thought that was impossible. And then think that maybe there's other things out there that we perceive as being totally impossible, but would actually be very possible.
Brian, you're not talking about chimpanzees overthrowing the American government again, are you? I've told you before, it's not going to happen. Stick to the cards.
The thing that people want to see the most is the implosion. When I knock the house of cards down, it qualifies the work. It's kind of like when a composer dies, then their music becomes great. So for me, this house of cards here is everyone's favorite at the moment, but only when it is flat on the floor and dead and gone will it kind of be this great thing that everyone remembers, and it's because at that point it will have become legitimate.
Brian really is the Mozart of the card stacking world. What's that? Oh no, I've just been told, Brian, that we didn't quite get all the shots we needed of that one. Would you mind popping it back up again? Take that as a no. We're finishing tonight with a touch of class. Sorry, I've misread that. That should have said cloth. Now, I should start by pointing out that this is not actually a Guinness World Record. Never was, never will be. Because this man is attempting to legitimise the potentially offensive art of long-distance, fart-powered balloon dart hitting. And as a highly respected global institution, Guinness World Records only rewards human endeavour which would not offend any of our worldwide community. And it looks something like this. I'm sorry to say it, but I think we may need to see that again. It really is a unique talent, but before you reach for your darts and sink plungers, this record was not deemed official by the authorities on the basis that due to cultural reasons, it wouldn't travel well in some countries. It also wouldn't travel well in breezy climates. So the world of fart-propelled balloon darts will have to stay underground for a while longer, but do feel free to try it at home, preferably with the curtain shut.